In this video, I am going to teach you how to create and run a combined project. What do I mean by a combined project? Well, that is one in which the ASP.NET Core, Web API, and also the React application live in the same project, so they are completely together. Honestly, that is not the way that we're going to work in this course, because usually in real life you have those two separated, and also because I have found that the tooling in Visual Studio for this kind of project is not that good. But still, I will teach you how to create a project and how to run it, just in case you're interested in that. So let me open Visual Studio and let me go to create new project, and in here I will write in this bar, I will write React because I'm looking for ASP.NET Core with React or ASP.NET Core with React and Redux. In my case, I want to use only the React version. We're going to talk about Redux as a bonus of this course. So let me click on next and let me say combine project is going to be the name, and let me copy this address and let me paste that here, and let me click on next, and I will use .NET 6, configure for HTTPS, and create. And this is going to create our project. Now here we have our solution, here we have our project, and in here we have controllers, weather forecast controller as we have seen before, but we also have this client app folder in which we have this package.json, which means that it is here that we have our front-end application, our React application. And here we're going to see my first complaint about this technique. And it is that here we have React 16. But that is not the latest version of React, which means that when you use this combined project technique, this combined project model, you get an old version of React, which may not have all the features that you need for your front-end development. If you wanted to use the latest version of React, you would have to update this project yourself. And sometimes it is not so easy. Sometimes when I have tried to do that, I found errors along the way. So you need to be prepared to do some tinkering, some configuration in order to get it to work. Now that is one thing. Another thing that I don't like is that, as you may know, the first thing that you need in order to run a JavaScript project is to run npm install. Now when you do npm install in Visual Studio through Visual Studio, sometimes it just hangs up and it never responds. So what I have to do is to go back to the Explorer and go to the combined project, client app. Here we have the package.json, and in here right click, open PowerShell window here, and in here I have to say npm install, enter, because otherwise, as I told you, in Visual Studio sometimes this process just never finishes. So that is why I prefer to do it from here, because it is more stable. And here we have that this has ended, and now let's go back here to Visual Studio and let me test our application. Let me press Ctrl F5, which will run our react.js solution and our ASP.NET Core web application, and this is loading. And as you can see, we have our application here. Here we have several pages. I can go to counter, I can interact with the application, I can go to fetch data, and I can see that this works. So this is fine, but another thing that I don't like about using Visual Studio for this is that sometimes it just fails. Sometimes I may try to run the application one more time and it just doesn't work, and I have to close Visual Studio and then open Visual Studio one more time and then try again. So this is why I personally don't like to use Visual Studio for developing React application or almost any other front-end technology, because it just doesn't work that much, especially compared to Visual Studio Code. So that is in part why in this course we are going to use Visual Studio Code for developing the React part of our project and Visual Studio for developing our web API. But if you want to use Visual Studio, then you can go ahead. But please keep in mind that you need to make sure to be using the latest version of React, or at least the same one that I am using in this course, because otherwise the code that I write in this course may not work for you.